Hi everyone, welcome back to this series of project management key concepts, where we're breaking down the concepts in the project management body of knowledge. This one in particular is cost estimates. Now, what are cost estimates in a project? Well, in project management, you may need to estimate the cost of a work package, an activity, or the project as a whole. And knowing the different types of cost estimates that you can make, from easy and inaccurate to more difficult and more accurate, will help you budget for your project at the appropriate times and the appropriate levels. So what do we mean by this? Well, there are 5 types of cost estimates that you will come across in project management and in the PMP exam. The first one is your order of magnitude estimate, also called the rough order of magnitude or ROM. So the preliminary estimate is next, the budget estimate is after that, the definitive estimate gets a little bit more definitive, as the name says, and finally we have the final estimate, which is where we end up with the final cost for our project. So let's delve into them. The rough order of magnitude estimate you'll see in our estimate range. So if we had $100,000 where we thought it might be, then we would take 25% off that, so we would say $75,000, but also add 75%, so $175,000. So that is our range from that to that. We can't just say it's $100,000 and be done with it, because ultimately things change and adjust as the project goes on. Sometimes we need to get a little bit more definitive as our estimates, as we get more information in our project as well. So this is a ballpark estimate used to provide a starting estimate and move forward. Next, we have the preliminary estimate, which is we've got minus 15 to plus 50. So we might have 85K, 100K in the middle, and 150K on the top end. As you can see, we might have a bit more information and we're honing it down. So it's more of a top-down estimation approach. We're starting just using the high-level packages and looking at what they might cost. And we're also using analogous estimation techniques, which means we're looking for similar projects or similar activities and what they cost, and we're just sort of using that as our guide to get the costings for our project at this early stage. Next, we have the budget estimate, which is minus 10% to plus 25%. So we might have 90, 100 in the middle, and 125 on the other end. This is also a top-down estimation approach, so still looking at the high-level approach and also using that analogous technique, so similar projects and similar activities to get this budget estimate, which is still fairly broad. But the next one, the definitive estimate, is where we really start to delve deeper into it. So we're looking at minus 5% to plus 10%, so potentially 95, 100 in the middle, and 110 on the top end for our estimate, for the definitive estimate. And this is more of a bottom-up estimation technique. In other words, for our work package, we've got our feature and all the different activities or work packages that are needed to deliver that feature. Now we are looking at the cost for each of these different activities. So really delving into a lot more detail for those particular activities and using that to budget for the overall feature. So adding them all together after looking into it in much more detail. Now lastly, of course, we have the final estimate, of which there is 0 leeway. So now it's finally ended up, and it is actually $100,000 for this particular example. Now this is when there's no leeway left or no change in the budget, then we know that potentially the project has been delivered because there's no chance for it to change. Or we might be using contracts where something needs to be locked in at a certain price, and that's what's going to happen. That's what the work is going to be delivered for that particular price. Now those are the different estimates that you'll see in your project.